gosh. Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Hi. Welcome back to the channel. 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 Anyway, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. That was only half a year of intros. But this is our 1-year anniversary for this channel, and I forgot to make an intro for this video. So here I am editing, and I'm just gonna throw this together because why not? I'm making 2 berets today. One by sewing it together, the top part and the bottom part, obviously, and the other one by wet felting. I've never wet felted anything before. I'm very excited about this. I've already made them, so let's see what you guys think. Let's get into it. For the first felt hat, we're gonna use this red material I got at the dollar store. It's a little bit light, so I put some stiffer felt underneath here because I only had 1 red felt and I needed 2 for this beret. So I used brown with the red on top. But I'm using a Posca right now to give this beret some allowance so I can sew this extra part together. And voila. Now I'm gonna try and cut this fabric with these scissors that don't work. Oh, we got a little bit off right here. Nope, it's just eating it. Here we go. Blue handle scissors are better than the red. All the way around. There we go. Okay, oh, getting at it from the other side. Come on now, you know how to cut. It's kindergarten stuff. All right, having some issues with the scissors too, it looks like. I need new scissors. You get the idea. So if you're sewing something that's gonna be turned inside out, right side in, you want to cut all these little tabs around there. It just helps it keep its shape better. I'm not really sure how that works, don't ask. I've just seen it done and it definitely works better than just trying to sew this together. All right, now let's just use this top one to trace for the bottom piece, the exact same size, and we'll do some tabs on this guy too. Now we just have to get these layers layered on here right so that we can sew this together. I'm having trouble matching up this piece with the bottom piece. I can see that I haven't put this on exactly the same, so I'm going to turn it, see if I can find the way that it was. This looks better. Now, how does this piece go on again? Now we're gonna use this plate, but I'm gonna actually outline on the plate this time because I'm going to sew on this line. Now we put in the pins. Pins done. So before I start embroidering this circle line, I've realized I need to put a hole inside where the hat sits on your head, and so that we can turn it right side in, right? This is my first mistake. Right here, this looks like a reasonable size, but I'm forgetting that the edges are going to be gone because they're going to be inside. So this is a very thin line, and I wish that I had thought about that before the next step. And now the seam is nice and embroidered, and I'm going to cut out the hole that the head fits in, and I'm about to find out exactly what I did that was not right. Ooh, look at that pretty pretty shiny fabric in there. All right, let's turn this thing out. Something seems a little off here. This is not exactly what I was going for. We're definitely gonna have to add some fabric on the bottom of this if we want it to grab anybody's head. So I noticed that the fake satiny fabric was a little stretchy, so I cut it out the same size as the opening and pinned it on here and cut another head opening. So my hope is that this would stretch and get on the head, right? Oh, good thing I caught that it was pinned wrong before I started sewing it.
Yikes, where's my brain?
Okay, that's more like it. Looks totally different. You'd think I would have noticed. Okay, now that that's sewn on, I'm going to trim down some of these frays a little bit so it doesn't make the corners as bulky. And then we're gonna flip it right side in and see how it turned out. Well, it still ended up being a little too small, but at least now it's made and we can get to the part that I've been waiting for, decorating. So really the whole reason why this craft came about is because my daughter found a very cute strawberry beret in this thrift store, and the lady told me it was hand embroidered, and I'm looking at it and it obviously wasn't. It was like glued together and there was glue on top. So I told her I would make her a better one because I'm not paying $50 for a glued together beret. This beret is gonna be hand felted. This little stem is getting hand felted and all of the stitches will be hand embroidered. I'm not using a machine for any of it. We have the stem, now let's add some leaves. So something you may not know about me is I despise sewing, but I love embroidery, which is very strange because it's kind of the same thing. I guess it's just that with embroidery, you're kind of making art more than when you're... Where did that come from? That was weird. Anyway, with embroidery, you're making art. Sewing, you're just attaching stuff. Now that our guy's looking like a ripe little tomato, let's see if we can add some strawberry seeds to sell it. So in case you were wondering,
Nobody.
for the main part of the leaves, the straight down part, I did a stem stitch, and the other ones are outline stitches or might be a modified satin stitch. And this stitch that I'm doing right here for the seeds is called a French knot. Voila, strawberry beret is done. Let's see how it looks on a head. Since this little beauty is way too freaking small, it's gonna have to be pinned on like a 1950s hat, but I think it turned out pretty cute otherwise. Now on to the next beret. First step for this beret is to waterproof your surface because we are going to be using wet felt. The next thing we have to do is cut out a circle piece of plastic called the resist that will be inside the beret. I don't want it to be too small this time. It said at least 40 inches. Then we can start putting little pieces of wool down, all facing the center, and when that layer is done, we start the second layer going around. Once the second layer is down, we're going to put 2 more layers. Number 3 goes facing towards the center again, and then number 4 is going to go around. The article I read teaching me how to do this said to grab the little pieces of wool with your fingers and the palm of your hand. And I realized if you do that, it does make it kind of spread out more. So you're not getting thin clumps, but like thin, wide pieces. Once we have checked for any thin pieces and we have filled them, we cover up this felt with a mesh or tulle cover. You will notice that my hands look way smaller on this one because I made it bigger. The original one was, of course, too small, so I had to start over. Once you got your tulle on, you can start spraying it with some warm, soapy water. You don't want to soak it, you just want to get it kind of damp, and then you just kind of very carefully smear the water in. You don't want to move the pieces underneath. You just want to gently get them wet. Oh, my rings were getting caught on the tulle. The next step is to cover it in bubble wrap, which I did not have. This is like a kind of bubble pocket that I took apart, and we needed a perfect circle the same size as our felt out of cardboard so that we can flip this bad boy. 1, 2, 3. This is the inside of the beret. We're gonna felt it and leave that middle circle empty because it goes on top of your head. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we want to felt with like 5 centimeters of wool sticking out over the edge because that's going to combine it and make the edge for this beret. So we pull all those edges in and then we start our felting on top of it. So instead of going in first, we're gonna go in a circle so that we can connect it to these pieces. Using the heel of my hand and like my longest fingers against the heel of it worked best for me to pull these pieces out and kind of keep them more even. Once we finish our 4 layers on this side, we're just putting a small light layer around the opening. Solidify that a little bit better. Checking for weak spots, filling those bad boys in. Cover this side with tulle also, and then we're going to spray it and get it damp. Now we add the soap. This recipe calls for super soapy hands. I gotta get them very lathered. And then we're going to gently rub this wool straight across at first and then in little circles, and that's going to start binding the pieces together. Once this guy is super soapy and sudsy, we're going to flip it and do this to the other side. Once I've flipped it, I've noticed that the edges are sticking out. I was warned they might get a little baggy, but it says just push them back into place. I'm not really sure what that means. You're supposed to do that before you flip it. That would have been good to know. Also, my line inside is kind of leaking onto the fabric. I should have maybe used a permanent marker. I don't know. I thought I did. Anyway, let's put this tulle fabric back on, and we're gonna soap this side up some more. Really good. We want to make it sudsy. Was starting to get really worried about these edge pieces. Thought maybe I should just scoot this side up since I didn't do the other side. Kind of tuck it and then put it back. Does that work? We'll see. Once I got it really soapy like this, it felt like I was doing it right. Not sure if I was, but it felt right. Kind of looks like dough. And a little more soap on the top side, and then it's ready to roll up. Reseal it in bubble wrap on the top and on the bottom. I wasn't entirely sure if it was supposed to be wrapped up with the tulle inside. It didn't say anything about having that in there. I do eventually take it out, but just like when I was making the cupcakes, it seems like it's pretty straightforward, but I have questions, and since it's not like a visual, it's just pictures and words, I kind of have to assume that I would make the best choices, which has not necessarily been my record so far. So this rolling is supposed to be locking the fibers even more tightly. This is like the super wet felting part. So it says to roll it up like this and then roll it back and forth like a pin 50 times and then take it out, flip it, and do this like 5 or 6 times. 50 times each time it's getting rolled. The more I rolled it, the more it was creeping up into the center on some sides and like ripping the edges. I tried to keep rotating it, but you know what? It might have been that tulle. The tulle might have been too rough because it's supposed to be rolled in the bubble wrap. It didn't say. So now that it's been rolled a million times, it says pinch it, and if it all comes up as one piece, you can take the inside out. So we're taking this relief out, and now it's just a beret. We are in the home stretch now, and I haven't even started decorating it. So the next step, it says, you guessed it, more soap. It wants me to get it soapy and then rub it against itself like I'm washing it, like hand washing it. I guess that just double checks that all the fibers are locked in place. Once it's a complete wrinkly mess, I go to the sink and rinse it out with warm water, then hot water, and then cold water. And then I have to fill up a bucket with 2 liters of warm water and then vinegar 2 tablespoons. And that's supposed to get all of the soap residue out and make it ready to dry. Last step for actually making this beret is to fit it on my lovely Barbara and let it dry so it'll dry in the right shape. Looks like a tortilla. My daughter said it looks like a mushroom. She was mad that it wasn't. Finally, it's time to decorate. First, we put on a stem, some leaves, some embroidery, and our vegetable and fruit berets are made. The white one is like a parsnip or a radish, and the little one is a strawberry. How does it fit, Barbara?
Ooh, you look cute in this, Barbara.
The red one's very cute. Doesn't fit, you're gonna have to pin it, but it's still very cute. I'm happy with this. Even though it's small, I think I could make it again even better. This one's way bigger. I think I probably needed to roll it like 600 more times to make it shrink down. I even stuck it in the dryer and it still didn't shrink that much. I'm just totally excited I solved the mystery on how to make these berets without the seam. Isn't this crazy? It turned out pretty cute, I think. Let's see how it looks on a human head. Oh yeah, yes girl, work it. Let's see it. Oh, it's cute. It's cute. Now it's time for your treat.